Welcome back this evening to the PPD TOC here in Kansas City, Missouri. We join the Tuesday PM Open Doubles No Cap Bracket 1 in the middle of the winners bracket semifinal here between Johnny and Robert and David and Rod. I'm Gordon Dixon.
I'm DJ Sayre.
And we're going to bring you all the action here this evening as we
are the action dads.
We are the action dads as we run through this bracket. Seen most of these guys on the stream earlier today. The only newbie I believe would be Robert Pratt.
Bobby Lee.
As we get underway here, so again we are in the no cap bracket, so a lot of the teams that we have seen throughout the day. Just looking around the bracket here real quick, Jeff Smith and Nick Selipek. So Jeff playing with another partner this weekend, definitely changing it up. Kyle Liddicky and Wes White teaming back up here in this one. They're facing off against Derek Hinkle and Rick Smith. The winner of that will take on Jeff and Nick, and we should have that one to you after this, if they follow directions.
And we are quickly figuring out that 8 events in, players do not follow directions. So, yeah, that is why we are just now joining you, as they played the entire second round of the winners bracket without being on the stream. Greatly appreciate all of those guys that did that.
We check into the match here. Sweet Johnny piling in some 18s. Dave from that average, it looks like he has continued on from this morning with his triple hitting ways.
Yeah, Dave and Rod facing off in the open doubles early this morning as they were on opposite teams playing in the finals. And Dave's team, the victors in that one. So teaming up with the enemy once again.
So again, this match all ready to go to that winner's side. King seat match.
Oh, and Johnny's going to hit 3 triples, none of which count. So big opening now for Dave and Rod.
Dave knowing he only needs 2 18s to shut it down. Finds those.
Bobby, not at the races yet. Only averaging 2 marks a turn. And both of these teams have already won 2 rounds, so it's not like we should be seeing first round jitters. You would think by now these players would be settled in and ready to play. These, honestly, the rounds where we expect to see some of the highest averages, as you don't have those end of tournament nerves and you've kind of knocked off the rust from the beginning.
Rod finding a big 6th mark, included shutting down Johnny and Bobby's number. Johnny now going to have to open up a new one. Unable to do it, only finds a 2 mark.
Dave continuing his excellent triple hitting as he puts in 4 19s and steals the 16s away, with Johnny and Bobby having a 2 mark on it. So Bobby relegated to the 15s. He's only going to hit one mark. So smooth sailing here for the snowman. Smooth sledding, I should say. Just gonna let this this leg play out here. So Dave only needing 3 bullseyes. And he's only gonna need 2 darts to hit it. So leg number 1 to the Canadians, Dave Cameron and Rod Snow. The Texans gonna have to get their act together in this next leg. And there we see Johnny open with 7 20s. So Johnny's starting hot again. He started hot in that last one, then kind of fell off. But Dave not going to let him off the hook as he puts in a 9 mark on the 19s. Dave's been hot all week.
He really has. Great shooting, pivotal spots when he's hitting those big shots.
And one added bit of a bonus, we should be getting a look at the finale teams sometime shortly to see what we have coming up for tomorrow. It is not posted yet, but it will be coming. We'll get a little look at the projections and who we see as the on-paper favorites going into tomorrow, where 4 people, 2 men and 2 ladies, will all be awarded $10,000 apiece. So Dave trying to keep that 9-0, but no, he's only going to put in 3, so he and Johnny both sitting on a 6-mark return, but Bobby, the weak link once again here in leg number 2. Gonna try to get back on the right track.
Rod Snow stepping up here. At times we've seen Rod throw extremely hot as well. Just seems to be a little bit more inconsistent. Him and Dave already do have a first place this weekend in the last open doubles that we spoke about.
Yeah, Rod's pace of throw has went back and forth pretty much the entire time we've seen him play. And it looks to be, as we see Johnny put in a big 9 mark on the 20s there, scoring 180 points. But it seems to be when Rod takes his time a little bit with his setup of the dart, he plays a little bit better. I don't know if that's a focus issue, just kind of going through the motions when he's playing a little quicker or what, but it's something to keep an eye on going forward.
Well, and it's odd, too, because the pace of the board flipping over can kind of, if you do better as a slower player, then the board does its own thing to kind of help slow you down. So it's odd to kind of see that in this type of game. Oh, just high on that third dart. So we get a wide angle view of the players there in the bullpen. I was able to wrangle that other semifinal match So as soon as this is concluded, we should have that as long as it is still going.
Well, and given that we haven't left the 20s and 19s through 7 rounds, we may be still playing here by the time they're done. Good point battle in this one. Really, Johnny doing his best to keep he and Bobby in it. Got to imagine that Bobby was playing better than this in the last 2 rounds. Just a bit unfortunate. Maybe the stream jitters getting the best of him. Not real sure, but these two coming off of a pretty sizable win against Eric Gregory and Paul Schwindeman in the last round.
Johnny doing a good job of trying to stay in touch here. Waiting for his partner to come around. Dave in no mood to wait. He takes that point lead and shuts down the 17. Here's a good shot from Bobby. 7 mark.
Rod now looking at those 18s to get the score back. Doing some quick maths. And he's going to stay up at that 18. Good shot there by Rod. Smart shot. As he now forces Johnny to have to throw 2 triples before getting the look at the 18s, but Johnny going to answer it. Oh, just missing the 18 there in the single.
Again, you see that how powerful that start is. Is Johnny able to fend these guys off for a bulk of this leg? Even though his partner is trailing by at least 2 marks around. Going to be more and more important as this leg goes on.
So Bobby's starting to settle in here, but it may be a little too late. Good to see him come around, though. Going 7-5 in his last 6 starts.
Yeah, doing himself some justice here.
And Rod and David going to talk this shot over. This might be a pretty important shot, to be honest. This could turn the match completely in their favor, or barring a bad shot, Johnny and Robert may be looking at taking control.
See David very happy with that result. Oh, and Johnny picking a bad time to go sideways.
Yeah, the first real misstep we've seen from Johnny in this leg. Dave's going to punish.
Really just come to expect it out of Dave in those spots. He's come up big almost every time he's needed it.
And Robert's going to close here. I don't understand this. 7 bulls down. Probably not going to matter as Rod only needs 2. And he only needs 1 dart for 2 bulls. So your champions in this one, Dave Cameron and Rod Snow, move into the king seat match where they await the winner of Jeff Smith and Nick Selipek and Kyle Liddicky and Wes White. We actually have that one on the other board, so we're going to jump over there. We got Wes White at the board. 1 second in the leg, trailing. And this is game number 1, so we didn't miss much.
Seen another lackluster Jeff. 4.5 is no is nothing to sneeze at, but just expect more out of Jeff. Now we don't know how he got to that 4.5, but on its face, not what we would expect. But Nick Selpek really picking it up here at 5, 6, 7. And first start straight into that 16. Closing both corners now. And another 54 points, so perfect turn there for Nick Selpek.
Yeah, Nick, the powerhouse on the board in this leg, averaging 6.5. Paired with Jeff Smith, if you can be the highest average on the board, you got to feel very good about your chances of winning the match. Jeff apparently got tired of matching the board colors, so changed his shirt to the Guinness logo.
You see him too dark at those bullseyes for a 1-0 lead. See Kyle there practicing throwing an elbow in Jeff's face. Oh, and only going to hit 2. Big opening now here for Jeff. Jeff only going to hit a 4 mark. So while it is punishing, it's not going to deter this.
Jeff picking up that 4 mark from the first turn. Putting in a big shot, so Kyle may look at the 20 here. Yeah, smart shot there. Down and score. Or excuse me, Nick with the 9 mark. I got the gray-haired gentleman confused.
Jeff gonna reset here. Still not able to find that 17. Big puff of the cheeks. This is by far the most upset I've ever seen Jeff while playing. I just don't see this kind of reactions from him.
He's been a lot less consistent than I expected Jeff to be on a soft tip machine. We saw him here last year win the CSI, go deep in the World Cricket Challenge, and make the finals of the finale, where he was playing very well. And I guess that's what we, knowing he's a very good steel tip player, in fact, a former world championship runner-up, I think we just come to expect him to be able to hit the bigger triples a lot easier with a lot more regularity. And it seems as though he's a bit inconsistent this week.
Kyle, though, one of the shining stars throughout this week. Continuing to hit big.
The gentleman that took away Jeff's crown as CSI champion for $10,000 earlier in the week. Kyle Lidekin, your new champion. So only 2 names on the trophy. First Jeff, now Kyle.
Nick holding the flag for this team. Oh, not finding that 18, so pivotal moment there. only a last dart triple. So another big shot here for Jeff Smith coming in. Not able to find that double 18. Does shoot inside at least, I guess.
Wes may take a look at this 16 here. No, he's going to stay on the 18 and put in 126 points. So 6 16s required for the point lead for Nick. I think if Jeff had his way, he'd go close.
And after some risky back and forth there, Kyle's going to come to the board now. A pretty good spot. Buries that 16. Buries that 18. Looks like he's going to stay up there. Job done taking that 16 away. So Jeff's going to need a trip 15 before he can score anything. He is down 101 points.
So if Wes can close the 15s here, they will be way the favorites to take this leg and send us into a third game decider. Nick just going to try to make the leg look a little prettier, a little less one-sided.
Good last start there. Does find the 25, but Kyle only needing one bullseye here. Fires it in there. We're going to see a very important court, followed by a very important leg of cricket to see who will face off against Dave and Rod in the king seat match.
And that is a peel. So Jeff is going to have to pull that dart and allow Kyle the chance to tie it.
Jeff picking a fine time to throw a dandy.
Yeah, doesn't get much better. Wait, it can't get better than that. Oh, and Kyle put an effort on it.
And Kyle thought he tied that.
He thought it had a shot at least. He had to take a quick step up to look.
So after an exciting cork, we will see an exciting third leg here. See if Jeff can start off in those triples. Pointing at that last dart. Saving that shot.
Kyle able to thread the needle on those first two. And
He shoves it past those first two.
Looked like it went right between them and down into the triple 19. Nick gonna throw up the 19-0 this first dart. Recovers nicely as he goes up for 120 points. Playing with fire a bit in that one.
Yeah, especially early in this leg. I guess that's both the argument for and against. Wes with a 7 mark of his own.
So a couple of 5s and 7s play each other.
Yeah, here's that shot from Jeff. Seen it all too often. Kyle's going to need to find that triple. And does. Rescues the shot a bit, but not by much. Going to back up Jeff's good shot with another good one of his own.
So this leg's starting to get out of hand for Kyle and Wes, and that's not going to help us. Wes only puts in 2 marks.
Jeff kicking into turbo here. Hits both corners and the double bull. All that's left but shaking hands.
So no doubt about it, we're going to see Nick step up here. Should only need 1 dart for 1 bullseye. He's going to power close with a double. So your winners in this match, Jeff Smith and Nick Selipek. Kyle Lidicky and Wes White are the losers. They will move into the 1-loss bracket. We will have the king seat match coming up between Dave Cameron and Rod Snow and Jeff Smith and Nick Selipek in just a moment. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back as we join this king seat match. Just as we're corking, it looks like Jeff is one hole out further than Dave. So we will see a rematch from the last open doubles that we saw, where David and Rod ended up victorious on the day. And I believe they played Jeff and Nick in the king seat match in that event as well.
Did Jeff play that event? I don't think Jeff was in that. I can look real quick. What was that? So that was the Sunday doubles?
Sunday doubles. Double check me. Anyways, I know for sure that David and Rod have...
It was Kenny and Nick.
Kenny and Nick. That's what it was.
So Nick was in the final, but not so much on the Jeff. I think Jeff actually skipped that event. Or maybe played a different event, not the open doubles. Well, I guess it would be doubles, but not in the open bracket.
So this is extended format, so we will see these two teams play race to 4. So we should see the best from these players as they get into it. Really be able to stretch out here in this longer format. Rod leaving it hang on a dart that goes into the 7. Nick does find a big last dart triple.
Jeff's going to try to stay perfect in this leg. Big third dart there from Jeff. That's where I thought he was going the last turn when he switched away from the 19, but instead went for the 18. That time taking away the 20.
Rod finding that last dart triple. Here comes Nick, trying to put his mark on this leg. 114 points. So 68 points between them. So Dave's going to need 2, if not 3 triples here on that 17.
Surprised he even took a look at that 19. Having 2 numbers to close, I think I would have tried to get 51 more points. I'm also a little surprised that Jeff didn't bother going for the 16s. We've seen him use the boxing strategy quite a bit. I think that would have been a good time for it. But he does play a more standard form of cricket there, trying to get the point lead and take the close.
We have seen Rod in these spots put in some big shots. Thought we may see something around the board there after taking that point lead.
Oh, Nick taking a stab at that 17 after putting in 114 points on the 19.
Dave does have the lead here, but very much in danger of losing that 17. Pretty much.
Very similar spot the last time where he switched to the 19. Stays there this time.
Yeah, kind of figured Jeff was going to do away with that as he dispatches with it first dart. Finds the treble 19 with the last. So still a 2-number and a few point lead here for the 2-hole team. And Rod unable to find a triple there.
Yeah, Rod looking like the weak link in this leg so far. All other players at 6 or above. If Nick can close the 15s, he'll take a commanding lead into Bullseyes. But as we've said all week, a break a throw isn't a break a throw when you get to go first in the next one.
Yeah, so even if Dave and Rod are to lose this leg, really no harm done as we see Jeff finishing off with 2 darts there on the bullseye. They will start the next one. And give her another go.
Jeff finishing with a 5.79 and Nick a 6.0 as a team. Those are tough numbers to beat. And that's what it takes going second to win a leg against these guys. Oh, and Dave only going to start with 1 mark. So now, Jeff, a real opportunity to try to get a true break of throw. As Jeff and Nick are up 1-0.
Probably best case scenario there. Only punished with 5. But Rod needs to start going here, or this match will get away from them quickly. He follows up with 2 triples nicely.
Nick staying hot as he puts in 120 and barely missing the triple 19.
Dave knows that's not enough. Ooh, Jeff electing to stay up there. I would have lost some money on that one. Big shot here from Rod. Gonna go back up there. Finds that single 20. So good back and forth from these 2 teams. Nick with a 6 mark as well.
So an odd occurrence coming up here is we see Dave Cameron with the lowest average on the board. In most of his matches, he's been the shining star.
Dave, I think, wisely taking that 20 away. He knows that will push Jeff over to the 18. Jeff coming up with the big 7 mark there.
Rod going to continue to hit triples, putting in 7/17s.
So a case of the 2 Canadians that can't link up here. Dave holding the flag in the first leg. Rod falling off, and here, David kind of lagging behind.
Yeah, Rod, the foreign player in this leg thus far. If Jeff and Nick are able to steal this one, it may get out of hand. Jeff definitely looking at the 16s now. Oh, and he gives a point. He wanted that one. We haven't seen too much of that emotion from Jeff this week.
Well, none of the positive emotion. We've seen a lot of tearing the darts out of the board and puff of the cheek and pursed lips. Rod electing to stay there. I think I think maybe a shot at that 18 as we get down to it.
Well, yeah, single 15 there did nothing. I mean, a single 18 wouldn't have either, but if he were to hit a triple 18, Dave could have been coming to the board with 4 bulls for the win. Instead, Nick going to put in a 9 mark and take all hope away from Dave as we see him just chuck away the 3rd dart. So this seems to be a theme for some of the players that when they're down in legs and don't think they have a chance to finish, they will just give up.
I mean, he was right, but...
Oh, of course he's right. But you don't know that you're right until you're right.
Right. Dave talking to himself the whole way through this shot. And a roll of the eyes after a 5 mark. Jeff following with a big 9 mark again.
Trying to make up his mind. He does stay up top.
Nick really coming to play here this afternoon. Him and Jeff really seem to be on song right now.
Good last from Dave, but probably not the one I would have taken. The 60 points probably would have been better served. As Jeff now able to, honestly, only needed a single 18 to take the point lead to close down the 20s. So a couple of 7s, play a couple of 5s. Advantage 7s. And Nick's going to stay hot as he puts in a 5 mark, or excuse me, a 4 mark this time. Dave once again with a questionable shot.
Yeah, Dave moving to that bullseye. We have seen this from Dave before.
I mean, but even after that first dart miss, a couple of triple 16s with those last 2 darts, and he'd have taken the point lead. But I do think he played Jeff right out of his shot. Jeff should have just looked at the 16s and 15s and allowed them to have the bulls. If they want to point you on the bulls, allow them to. Because now what you've left is Rod the opportunity to put in a couple of triples and take your 18s. And he actually might be going for the 18. Oh, no, he's looking at the bullseye. This is still a mistake, in my opinion. The double bull much smaller than the triple. I think Dave and Rod getting out-strategized in this one. As Nick looking to finish it up. Oh, needed a double bull with that last dart.
Just like that. We're going to see Jeff and Nick take a 3-0 lead.
Dave eagerly at the board, ready to throw.
Probably at the bullseyes. Now he's going to start on the 20s. Very strange seeing these excellent dart players get so frazzled so quickly in some of these legs.
Yeah, I think for some of the top players, we overestimate their mental fortitude and think that they can handle situations where they're not always throwing triples or things aren't always going their way. But apparently they're proving us wrong in some of these matches to just chuck darts away and kind of give up on legs.
And Nick, nice guy, Selipek, just chugging along, sticking in the
Well, he's got
sticking in
nothing
the
to worry
triples.
about at this point. He and Jeff are up 3-0 in a race to 4, and he's been crushing the triples the entire time.
Jeff does catch that double 19. Rod now up 102 points. Does take away that 17. But Nick now with a free shot to close and score.
Nick once again just plugging right along, putting in a 9 mark on the 16s, closing and scoring 96 points. Adding a lot of pressure to this shot. But Dave does answer the call. Taking a 21-point lead, so Jeff does have a 3-dart out. If he can hit 2 double bulls with the first 2 darts. Oh, he's not going to now. We're going to look to close the 15s, try to set Nick up for the win if Rod were to miss.
So 3-all here. And Rod buries that first double bull. Oh. Does come away with the win. So David Rod reeling one back. But Jeff and Nick, with that all-important big lead, are guaranteed to start the remainder of these legs until we get to that 3-all tie. So Dave and Rod going to need at least 2 breaks of throw.
Now we're seeing the match we expected. Both players exchanging big shots to open the leg. Oh, and Nick, who we haven't seen falter once this entire match, only coming away with 1 mark. So big advantage here for Dave and Rod. I'd like to see Rod take a dart at that 20. And there it is. Great shot there from Rod.
Just give him time, Dad. He'll get up there. So already looking at maybe that first break of throw.
Yeah, I mean, the more they start to reel him back, the more they're going to believe they can do this. Oh, Nick, only 3 this time. So a very poor leg here for Nick. And Rod with a 7-0 average. Looking at that 18. If he finds a first dart triple, this may get out of hand. And there it is. Never really knew where he was going with any one of those. But you know what? If you're going to hit 2 triples every turn, it doesn't really matter.
Dave now in a very comfortable position. Looks like he's just throwing fat there to close that 17. Smashes in another 57 points. So I guess if there ever was a time for a slack leg, Nick did pick a good spot because they will start again in the next leg, barring anything crazy.
And he does put in a 7 mark on the 16s there, but that's most likely going to be too little too late. As Rod continuing to hit triples here, trying to close both corners. And there it is, keeping the 7-0 alive.
Power close on that 15.
Scoring 15 points.
So Dave now needs a hat trick here to sew up this 5th leg.
Nope, he just needs 2 ducks.
And they reel one back, 3-2. So Dave will set up the board, and Jeff will get us started again.
Jeff opened that last leg with a 7 mark on the 20s. Got to imagine he'll be pleased with that at least. 7 or 9, that's the start he wants. When he's switching down, great darts there from Jeff. I do think that second dart blocked him. I myself like the 18 switch there, but if you're going to switch to the 19s and hit the triple, that's better yet.
You see Dave, after missing the first dart, just talk through. He interrupted his own shot as he threw the next 2 darts.
And here comes Kissimmee Mike. After saving all of these triples from the last leg and for this leg, putting in a big white horse. I think you can read Rod's face there. He knows that was a big shot, and he's going to have to reply in kind on the 16s. And almost pulls it off as he just goes high with his 3rd in the 888. Jeff will probably elect to close the 16s first. No reason to let your opponent live here. And he's only going to hit 3 singles. But 4-number advantage for Jeff and Nick. So we'll see what Dave decides to do.
He's going high.
He was going to try to eliminate some of those numbers, and now he's just going to chuck them away. So once again, we see Dave giving up in a leg, showing that he doesn't have the mental fortitude that we would expect from somebody that is to his caliber.
I mean, that just relaxes Nick back behind him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, honestly, for Nick to only follow with 2 bulls was a surprise there. And sometimes when you do stuff like that, it does put off your opponent as well. Rod, though, going to give it his all here as he puts in 5 bullseyes.
That's how you react.
Yes, that's a great shot from Rod. And knowing that he did that behind, I would probably be looking at Dave like, maybe if you'd have given me that 3rd dart. Now Jeff's going to take that bull. No, stays there to get the point lead. I thought he would go ahead and take the bull and let Nick come back, just needing 3 marks for the win, no matter what. Dave, once again, chucking him away, giving up on his partner. It's pretty disgusting, if I'm honest. And there we see Nick Selipek take the leg out, sealing the king seat for he and Jeff Smith. Unfortunately for Dave and Rod, they will have to battle through the 1-loss bracket if they want to come back to see these two. We do not have another match on the other board. So,
There might be starting up one. There's people there.
okay, actually, looks like we may have some players warming up, so we are going to jump over to the other board real quick. And it appears as though we are going to get a matchup of Eric Gregory and Paul Schwindelman, Kyle Liddicky and Wes White. Okay, so the players have corked, and it looks like Kyle did win the cork. So Kyle and Wes to start. We are down to only 5 teams left in the one-loss bracket. So the winner of this will take on the winner of Anthony Siravolgo and Bob Anderson, and Johnny Lackey and Pratt.
The loser side match is the same as we have been seeing this week, as we'll have a leg of cricket, a leg of 501, and then a cricket decider if needed.
Now, we haven't seen much of Paul Schwindelman this weekend, a top flight player from this area. Honestly, much more upbeat than I would have expected given the weather conditions in Kansas City.
Kyle going to need all 3 here to close that 17. Just going to open a small door here for Eric Gregory. He's not going to be able to close and get the lead, but we'll be able to make a dent in that score. He's not going to do even that, as he's only going to find 2 18s. So big chance here for Wes White to begin putting a lot of separation between him and his opponents. There we have it, a big 7 mark follow there, including the next number.
Paul going to go at the bullseyes here. It's a bit surprising as well, with the 15 still open. Not sure what he was thinking either. Certainly looked to try on all three of them, but just don't know about that strategy when the triple is twice the size, if not more, than the double bullseye.
It's probably at least 3, right?
I mean, I don't know the exact hole count, but yeah, I would probably guess 2.5 maybe. But you can definitely fit 2 of them in there. Oh, and Eric not going to hit much more than 1 bullseye, so Wes will come to the board needing 2. And he'll need 3 darts to do it, but job done. Leg number 1 going to Kyle and Wes. Now, we have talked about players using the last shot of a leg to warm up for the next leg. And 0-1 being the next leg, do you think it's possible that Paul kind of resigned in that leg and was trying to get going for the next game of 0-1?
Paul does not cross me as someone that would do that. I just, with as much experience as he has on a softboard, we talked about it earlier when we saw it happen a couple of times. Going to the bullseyes with the 15 still open is a viable option in steel tip. I've seen it work many times, but in this soft game, that is just not an option.
No. The
Or at the very least, not as good an option.
The 5 points you sacrifice by throwing a triple 15 versus a double bullseye is not worth the amount of real estate you sacrifice by throwing it the double bull versus the triple 15.
But to answer your question, I do not think that Paul resigned in there. Now, I could be wrong, but body language and everything else, kind of everything added together, I just don't think that's what was going on there. But a solid shot here from Eric Gregory, and they will be at an out and an opportunity to send this to a third leg decider.
Eric, once again, missing his third dart. Kyle putting in 150 to leave 160. So if Paul does miss this 138, Wes may get a crack at it. 2 bulls and a double 19 required for Paul. Missing into the 12, leave 76. It is open out, so it could go bull leave double 13. Instead, hits a 7.
As you see, Paul curtsy to his partner Eric as he heads back. Wes gonna get a whack at this 60. And there it is. Great finish from Wes White. 2 straight here as Eric and Paul fall to the 2-loss bracket. And Kyle and Wes will continue on in the 1-loss bracket.
And it is confirmed that they will be facing off against Anthony Siervogel and Bob Anderson in the semifinal of the 1-loss bracket. So we have nothing going on right now with both boards finishing close to simultaneously. We will be back as soon as we have another match. Stick around.